Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the Frontline Changes Report for the day of 998 for the 17th of November. So there is some frontline changes, not a lot of frontline changes, particularly only at Kurakove sector and the Uspenivka sector of the Donetsk front. So there's frontline changes over at Voznesenka, Bereski, Dane, Trudove, and Konstantinopolske. So at the at the Kurakove sector, at the Voznesenka, the Russian forces have advanced a little bit around the Voznesenka along the railway line, and the Bereski and the Novo Illinka, the Russian forces have expanded control around there. So a bit small, I'm going to zoom in. So at the Voznesenka, the Russian forces basically have taken the salient, which is clearly had always been under Russian control because it's just impossible for the Ukrainian forces to be there. What is more significant is that the Russian forces have now entered into the forest line along the railway, which means that the Russians is most likely going to follow the railway line as they usually do along the Voznesenka. So moving southward. So that's all from this area. And at Bereski itself, there is geolocation of Russian forces at Novo Illinka, expanding the Russian control around Novo Illinka. And then in Bereski, the Russian forces have expanded their control. So this is the latest update. This is based on Ukrainian mapping. Russian forces have basically captured the entire eastern part of Bereski and securing all the field east of Bereski. So this is looking rather bad for the Ukrainians' position. I don't think the Ukrainians can hold position at Nova Illinka already because this already operational encirclement in this area here. So things is going to devolve further, I believe, very quickly. So after Bereski, the next frontline change is over at Dalny. So in Dalny itself, Russian forces has been geolocated on the western part of the village. And this actually means that the Russian forces have almost fully captured Dalny, but this is still pretty much of the front line. So this is still not entirely fully captured settlement just yet. But I think we are getting really close to that at Dalny. So if we zoom out a bit, you'll see that after Dalny, the next attack, after capturing Dalny, they could just go for Uspenivka in a PINCER, which is why Dalny actually matters. So talking about Uspenivka, the next frontline change is just south of Uspenivka. Over at Trudove, the Russian forces have been geolocated inside the southern part of Trudove. For the first time, Russian forces entered into Trudove. So this is a continuation of the bad news for the Ukrainian forces in this sector, as the Russian forces is going to continue to push up. And yeah, that's what it is. And west of Trudove, there is another geolocation south of Hihant, which I think isn't really a thing. I think it's just like these two houses. I'm not sure. But this is also Konstantinopolske. So this Konstantinopolske and the Russian forces is geolocated here, which confirms that the Russian forces have advanced around this area here. I think I should zoom out a bit. So yeah, so the Russian forces confirmed to have captured these areas, and there is also geolocation of Russian forces definitely confirmed that they are in this area, in the south of Konstantinopolske. So this means that the Russians are just another hop to Konstantinopolske. So situation is pretty bad as well. But anyway, that's all of the frontline changes. And the total area captured is, let me show you. The total area captured is 1.72 square kilometers for the Kurakove sector in the north here, and in the south is 4.83 square kilometers. So if we combine the two, it will be 1.772 plus 4.83 totaling the total capture by the Russians over the past 24 hours is 6.55 square kilometers. Not particularly huge, but it's still progress. Just the lack of information from probably from the other sources, whatnot. Yeah, so that's about it. I will do the situation report later. It's quite a number of major developments actually. But yeah, meanwhile, check out the DPA open mic. We just finished a 5 hours discussion about the latest situation around the world, particularly with the permission granted by the United States for Ukraine to launch NATO missiles into Russian territory. We debate a lot on that. So do check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next update.